whistling at the wall, but I don't move at all. I'm watching shadows stretch and crawl across the linoleum hall. I still set out 2 coffee cups before I catch my breath. Just a morning habit playing out a slow and lonely death. The fridge is humming a hollow tune to the empty pantry shelf. I'm learning how to keep a secret from my goddamn self. And it's the quiet in the kitchen that screams your name the most. Breakfast for one in a house built for a ghost. The tile is cold beneath my feet. The air is thin and gray. I'm drowning in the silence of the words we didn't say. Funny how the loudest sound I've ever heard in here is the absence of your footsteps and the falling of a tear. There's a stain upon the counter where you spilled the summer wine, a permanent reminder of a time when you were mine. I haven't cleared the table since the night you walked away. I'm terrified that if I clean, the scent of you won't stay. Now the clock is ticking heavy like a hammer on a nail in this gallery of almost where our forever went to fail. I used to hate the clutter of the dishes in the sink. The chaos of our living gave me little room to think. But I'd give every moment of peace I finally found to hear you break the stillness with a single messy sound. Just the hum of the light, just the ghost of the light. It's so quiet in the kitchen tonight. I'm standing in the hallway where the echo hits the hardest, right at the finish line, feeling like the farthest. I check the Apple Music charts for a song to explain, but there's no 3-minute melody for this kind of pain. I held on too tight till I felt your ribs crack. Now I'm screaming at a taillight that ain't looking back. I love you, I'm sorry, I know it's too late to fix the foundations or carry the weight. I'm the damage and the danger and the mess in between. The worst parts of me are the only parts you've seen. It's a vicious confession on a one-way street. I love you, I'm sorry for the heart I couldn't keep. I look at the Instagram photos, the ones from the start, before I took a hammer to your trusting heart. I thought I was protecting, I thought I was strong, but I was just calculating how to be wrong. Now the silence is a verdict and the jury is out. I'm drowning in the maybe, in the ocean of doubt. If I could rewind to the night in the rain, I'd take every bullet, I'd swallow the pain. But an apology is just a bandage on a ghost. I destroyed the person that I needed more the most. So go on and hate me, I'll give you the fuel. I'm the king of the wreckage, I'm the broken-hearted fool. I love you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm screaming in a pressure chamber where the sound just dies, searching for a glimmer in these empty, airless skies. I'm reaching for your hand, but there's no resistance here. Just the heavy physics of grief and the taste of salt and fear. I'm moving my lips, but the vibrations won't start. In the great attractor of your cold and distant heart. And it's just whispers in a vacuum, falling on deaf ears. A million miles of nothing, built out of all these years. I'm sending out a signal that's never gonna land, like writing please stay in the interstellar sand. The louder that I cry, the more the silence wins. Just whispers in a vacuum, where the ghost of us begins. The Hubble couldn't find a trace of where we used to stand before the gravity gave out and we slipped right through our hands. There's no oxygen for fire, so the spark just went away, leaving me in stasis in the middle of the day. I'm a satellite in orbit around a world that's gone, waiting for whispers in a vacuum, in the void of my chest, who are far away. The tide of the month of June as an excuse to solve it all. You are happy. You are happy. The rain is falling, the water is dripping along the river, flowing. The Cumberland is only sad, torn apart. If you don't mind, please return to your country. The sun is gone, the longing is gone, the ants are surprised by leaving their nests. The cranes are hungry, the crows are willing to wait. The rain is gone, we are far away, like a contract, worried for years. The reasons are given, the heart is not The sun is gone, the heart is tight. The true story behind the scenes, those in the Cumberland are struggling. The heart wants to rest. Let the torment subside. The rain is gone, may you pass. The flag, 3 short messages, like a mantra. Please soften the character to accept. I'm standing in the neon blur of a rain-slicked street, checking the time and date where we were supposed to meet. I saw a shadow turn the corner, wearing your favorite coat, and for a second the hope was a lump in my throat. But the stranger walked past with a look I didn't know. In the flickering static of the late night show, and it's the night we almost happened, the spark that never caught, the butterfly effect of a battle never fought. We were a misconnection in a crowded, heavy room. A flower that withered before it could bloom. I'm haunted by the version of us that didn't get to be. said you'd always go, watching the steam rise, feeling the temp drop low. I checked my inbox for a message that never arrived. The digital silence where I maybe survived. If I'd stayed another minute or turned a different way, would we be somewhere better than we are today? It's the geometry of chance, the math of not quite, the absolute zero of a lonely cold night. I'm mourning a ghost that I never even held. In the cracked crystal ball where our future was spelled, just a glance in the glass, just a step on the stair, the empty space of a love that wasn't there. On the night we almost met. The porch swing slamming against the peeling white paint, and the sky is the color of a bruised and broken saint. I can see the lightning dance across the county line, but it's nothing like the thunder rattling this chest of mine. I'm battening the windows, I'm locking every door, but you don't have to be a cloud to make the rain fall pour. There's a storm raging right here in this room, a hurricane of nevermores and a heavy sense of doom. The wind is howling secrets that I wasn't meant to keep, and the floodgates are breaking while the rest of the world's asleep. You're that high pressure system that tore my world apart. Now there's a storm raging in the middle of my heart. The weatherman is talking about a shelter from the cold, but there ain't no basement deep enough for a love that's lost its hold. I'm watching our photographs swirl around the yard like autumn leaves in November, hitting the ground so hard. Every gust of memory is a shadow on the glass, waiting for the eye of the storm to finally let me pass. They say after the rain comes the golden morning light, but they've never seen the way a goodbye kills the night. I'm standing in the downpour The National Weather Service says it's clear outside, but there's a high pressure system where I try to hide. The barometer is dropping in the hollow of my throat, and I'm losing the buoyancy to keep my heart afloat. I'm wearing a raincoat in the middle of the hall, waiting for the precipitation of your ghost to fall. And it's the rainfall raging inside my chest, a flash flood of everything we never confessed. There's a thunderclap echoing against my ribs, drowning out the truth and the comfortable fibs. I'm soaking through the layers of a life gone gray, watching the best of us just wash away. The humidity of regret is thick enough to taste a tropical storm in a landscape of waste. I've got puddles in my lungs and a river in my veins, trying to navigate through the hurricane pains. I'm a saturated man in a desert of a room, waiting for the monsoon of my final doom. And it's the rainfall raging inside my chest, a flash flood of everything we never confessed. There's a thunderclap echoing against my ribs, drowning out the truth and the comfortable fix. The catch basin of my soul is overflowing now. I'd stop the downpour if I only knew how. But you're the atmosphere and I'm just the ground, getting heavier and colder until I am drowned. No shelter found, no rainbow inside, just the drip, drip, drip through the rest of the night. The rainfall inside my chest. The sun is setting violet over the edge of the bed, but I'm stuck in the shades of the things we never said. We used to be a riot of color, a neon kind of spark. Now we're just two different shadows blending in the dark. I'm tracing the outline of where your head used to rest, with a heavy velvet pressure settling in my chest. Now we're just indigo minds in a midnight room, trying to find the light inside this deep and lonely gloom. It's a sad kind of blue, the way we drift apart, with a cold electric silence staining every part of my heart. Yeah, we're drowning in the ink of a love we can't unwind. Just two lost souls with indigo minds. Just two lost souls. I look at your picture and the saturation fades. I'm living in a cycle of these cool and somber shades. We're a watercolor memory running in the rain. Everything is beautiful, but everything is pain. The deeper that the color goes, the harder it's to see where the ghost of you ends and the wreck of me begins to be. Red was for the passion and yellow for the years, but indigo is all that's left behind these salty tears. It's the color of a bruise, it's the color of the deep, it's the frequency of sorrow that I'm forced to keep. Fading into navy, sinking into gray. Just indigo minds, watching love wash away. I'm standing at the crossroads where the asphalt starts to fray, holding on to directions that lead to yesterday. The compass needle spinning in a frantic silver circle, while the sky turns a bruised and heavy purple. I struck a match against the cold and bitter wind to incinerate the miles of the places we have been. And now I'm burning the map home and let the embers fly. Watch the topography turn to ash against the sky. I'm erasing every shortcut and the way back to your door, because that sanctuary doesn't exist anymore. It's a fire in the night. goes the coastal highway where we sang until the dawn. Now it's just a charred remainder of a love that's moved on. I'm watching the ink curl like a dying winter leaf, a sacrificial offering to the altar of my grief. There's no GPS for a heart that's lost its north, just the smolder and the sewer as I'm venturing forth. If I can't see the road, then I can't try to run back to the damage of the things that we've done. The flame is a mercy, the heat is a friend, ensuring this dead-end street is finally the end. No more breadcrumbs, no more light, just wandering blind through the rest of the night. Burning the map home, burning the map home. The street lamp is flickering, casting patterns on the floor, like the ghost of your hand reaching out for the door. I'm wrapped in the fabric of a night that won't end, in a house where the walls feel like they're starting to bend. I reach for the space where your warmth used to be, but the air is just silk slipping right through me. And I'm lost in the velvet shadows of a love gone cold, hiding in the creases of the stories we told. It's a soft kind of heavy, it's a dark kind of smooth, the kind of lonely that a heartbeat can't soothe. Every corner is haunted, every memory is black in these velvet shadows. There's no turning back. The wine in the glass is a deep dahlia red, but it tastes like the bitter words we left unsaid. I'm pacing the hallway, I'm treading on air, looking for a trace of you that's no longer there. The moon is a sliver of a broken silver ring, watching me choke on the songs I can't sing. It's a texture I can feel, it's a weight I can't lift, watching the remains of our forever drift. You can't see the tears when the room is this dim, but I'm sinking in the velvet The salt water is receding from the edges of the bed, leaving driftwood memories of the things we never said. I'm standing on the shoreline where the water used to be, before you pull the current out from under me. Now the wet sand is heavy and the shells are all cracked, just a wasteland of a never that I can't take back. And it's tears like low tide pulling far away, exposing every jagged rock we hid from the day. The ocean is quiet, the horizon is dry, under the empty canvas of a hollowed out sky. Everything is shallow, everything is bare, now that the flood of your love isn't there. I'm looking for the highway mark we left on the wall, a stained reminder of how we used to have it all. But the ebb and flow turned to a permanent depart, leaving silty residue in the corners of my heart. I'm a maroon sailor on a sea of cracked mud, waiting for a spring tide to wash out the blood. And it's tears like a low tide pulling far away, exposing every jagged rock we hid from the day. The ocean is quiet, the horizon is dry, under the empty canvas of a hollowed out sky. Everything is shallow, everything is bare, now that the flow of love isn't there. They say the moon controls the way the waters move, but there ain't no gravity that can fix this groove. I'm just desiccated and longing for the rain to hide the salt crystals of a lifetime of pain. Just the mud flats, just the bones, a lighthouse crying to the stones, with tears like low tide. The pen is hovering heavy over the linen white page, like a restless bird trapped in a silver-plated cage. I've burned 1,000 drafts, I've shredded every line, trying to find a syntax for a love that's no longer mine. The ink is running dry, much like the tears in my eyes, as I try to map the distance of our finalized goodbyes. This is the last period at the bottom of a book I didn't want to end. I'm folding up the memories and tucking them inside with all the secret longings that I finally have to hide. No more thinking of you, or how have you been? It's just the stamped and sealed silence where the ghost of us begins. I'm leaving out the part about the way I can't sleep, or how I still keep the promises I know I shouldn't keep. I won't mention the post office where I'll drop this in the slot, or how I'm terrified that I'm the one you've already forgot. I'll just sign it with sincerity and leave it on the shelf, because this letter's less for you and more to save myself. If you read between the lines, you'll see the shaky hand of the calligraphy of heartbreak. You'll never understand. I'm letting go of the narrative. I'm putting down the pen. I'm never gonna let myself write your name again. No PS at the bottom, no I love you at the end. Just the last letter I'll write to a lover turned a friend. The dust motes are suspended in a shaft of afternoon light, like a frozen army that gave up on the fight. I'm sitting on the edge of a bed that feels like a canyon, searching for a ghost, a long-lost companion. The air pressure is heavy, the oxygen is thin. Since you took the rhythm that I used to live in, and it's a room without your breath, a house without a pulse, trying to find a truth that isn't so convulsed. The silence isn't golden, it's a stagnant gray sea, drowning out the heartbeat of what's left of me. Every exhale I make feels like a wasted sound in a room without your breath, where I can't be found. I used to hate the way you'd snore when the night got deep. Now I'd pay ransom just to watch you sleep. The curtains aren't moving, the ventilation is dead. Just a hollowed out cathedral The atmosphere in here will never be the same. It's asphyxiation by a memory that won't let go. A suffocating kind of lonely that only I know. Just the stillness, just the void. Every bit of warmth is being destroyed in this room without your breath. The theater's empty and the popcorn's gone stale. The hero went home and the fairy tale failed. I'm sitting in the dark while the cleanup crew sweeps the pieces of a promise that a heart never keeps. The screen is glowing white, but the story is through, and I'm just a witness to the vanishing of you. Now the names are scrolling in a long, slow line over a black and white reel of when you were mine. It's the credits of a love song, the final black frame, and nobody's clapping at the sound of your name. The music is swelling, but the seats are all bare. I'm watching the us simply dissolve into air. I see the best boy and the director of pain, and 1,000 location scouts who found us the rain. We had a 5-star open and a cinematic spark before the third act twist left us both in the dark. Now the lights are coming up and the usher is here to tell me that the ending is painfully clear. There's no post-credit scene, no to be continued, just a hollowed out heart and a shattered worldview. The projectionist is sleeping, the reels have all spun, and I'm the only one left who didn't know we were done. Fade to black, cut the sound, just the static of a heartbeat on the ground. In the end credits, of the love we found. I'm pulling into the driveway where the weeds have started to grow. past the peeling pain of a life we used to know. I'm jiggling the brass key in a lock that's grown cold, in a story where the happily ever after was never told. The mail is piling up like a paper tombstone on the mat, while I'm asking the empty rooms where the hell you're at. And there's no one home, just the hum of the fridge and the shattered connection on a burning bridge. The dust motes all dancing in the afternoon light, in a kitchen that hasn't seen a candle or a fight. I'm calling out your name, but the silence is a stone. Yeah, there's no one home, and I'm all alone. I see the ring mark from your glass on the wood, a permanent sorry I never understood. I'm walking through the blueprint of our collapsed design, tracing the fault lines where your life left mine. The thermostat is clicking, but the air is always gray, since you packed up the sunshine and moved it away. I used to complain about the static on the floor. Now I give my soul to hear you slam the front door. But the atmosphere is hollow, the pressure is low, in this sanctuary where nothing will grow. Checking the windows, locking the gate, just a ghost of a man left to calculate why there's no one home. We're skipping meals and starving out the truth, wasting the height and marrow of our youth. I'm looking through you like a pane of glass, watching the ghost of our potential past. Your collarbone is a jagged ridge I climb, just to find we're running out of borrowed time. And it's a skinny love, fragile and thin, a paper doll heart with the light leaking in. We're holding on by a thread of afraid regret, trying to be something we haven't been yet. It's a hollow boned ache, a ghost of a frame, a skinny love that forgot its own name. I try to feed the flame, but the oxygen is low. We're just two shadows with no counting the ribs of every broken dream, while we're coming apart at the invisible seam. You're a skeletal whisper in a crowded room, a flower that's forgotten how to rightfully bloom. And it's a skinny love, fragile and thin, a paper doll heart with the light leaking in. We're holding on by a thread of afraid regret, trying to be something we haven't been yet. Pour a little salt in the hollow of my collar. I'd give up my soul for a silver dollar if it bought us a minute of substance and weight before we both succumb to this starving fate. So light, so frail, a shivering heart behind a porcelain veil, just a skinny wasting away. I'm shivering under a linen sky at 3 a.m., trying to remember the weighted warmth of us back then. I rolled to the left, but the mattress is a shelf of ice, a bitter reminder of the love I couldn't price. The pillows are stiff, like they're holding their breath in this king-size desert of a slow emotional death. And it's just cold sheets and a heavy heart tonight. I'm losing the battle, I'm losing the light. There's a void in the fabric where your body used to be. Now it's just a frozen sea between the ghost of you and me. I'm wrapping myself in the absence of heat, drowning in the cold sheets. I haven't washed the pillowcase on your side of the bed. I'm clinging to the scent of you inside of my head, but the fragrance is fading, just like your touch. I didn't think a fabric could ever hurt this much. The winter is outside, but the frost is in the room, turning this duvet into a velvet tomb. They say body heat is a survival thing, but I'm starving for the comfort turning to stone. Just cold sheets in a hollow home. The coffee's getting cold in a chip ceramic mug. I'm still tripping over shadows on the living room rug. I go to tell a joke, then I remember the punchline's dead. Just a hollow reverberation inside of my head. I'm walking through the grocery store, buying dinner for one, learning how to breathe again now that the damage is done. And it's a wide open desert in the middle of the street. The world keeps turning, but I've got lead in my feet. There's a missing piece of gravity everywhere I go. A silent frequency that only I know. I'm a map with no border, a ship with no blue, just trying to figure out how to be me without you. I saw a silver sedan, and my heart skipped a beat before I realized you're 1,000 miles of bittersweet. I've rearranged the furniture to hide the empty space, but no interior design can scrub away your face. The clock on the mantle is just counting eggs of a life that's been split by the fault line cracks. They say that time is a healer, but time is a thief, stealing the color and leaving the grief. I'm standing in the kitchen, screaming at the air, because the worst part of gone is that the ghost is still there. No North Star, no anchor in the gale, just a rudderless boat with a tattered sail, learning to move I've scraped the bottom of the memory jar, looking for a glimmer of the way we were. But the cupboard is bare, and the lights are all blown in this house of cards that I've been living in alone. I checked the lost and found of my shattered pride, but there's no place left for a secret to hide. There's nothing left to break, nothing left to bleed. I've given you every single thing that I didn't need. The well has run dry and the soil is stone. I'm a king on a mountain of bleached white bone. You took the old ways and you took the best. Now there's just a hollow where you used to rest. Yeah, there's nothing left. I searched the Google Maps of our old routine to find a single landmark that remained clean. But the parks are all gray and the cafes are closed, and I'm just a skeleton completely exposed. I've overdrawn the account of my own heartbeat, trying to buy back a love that was never complete. They say rock bottom is a solid place to start, but they've never felt the vacuum of a finished heart. I'm staring at the void and the void is staring back, and everything I am is fading into black. No more tears, no more fight, just the absolute zero of a soul tonight. There's nothing a terrible flood, a heartbreaking one. Rainy flooding, destroying all the rice fields. A great flood flowing across the land of Cambodia. Unrelenting disaster, farmers in tears. Thunder roar, a lot of bullets. The enemy shoots indiscriminately. The misfortune is too great. A single piece of land is difficult to hold. The people are in tears, waiting for the wind to blow.